Testing, testing, testing. Okay, so we're gonna see what happens tonight. Long story short, if you've been a patron, you've been blessed with watch. And my hair is just a mess, guys. It's been a long day, so I look like drugged out Kurt Cobain. Let me put my filter on so I look a little better. Okay, that's better. I need an easy friend. Anyway, so we're using Firefox. Hopefully this works better. I've got my boy Brandon with me tonight.
What is going on? Happy Monday, everybody.
Big money Brandon, man. What's going on, brother?
Not much, just another day, man. You?
Same, long day.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's not bad. Not bad. It's a weird week. I've got the next 2 days off, and then I was supposed to be off for Thanksgiving, but the plant is behind, so we're working, which is
That sucks, man.
yeah, I told my wife, I told her, "Go to your parents' house that day, and then I'll stop by my parents' house when I get off work at 7, just go get something to eat, then go home." But um then I'm off the weekend, so it's like not the worst thing ever, but the money should be good. I think I get like double time and a half or something. So like I'll be coming home. I get out better on that end.
Yeah, that's nice. Time and a half is always nice.
Yeah. But Brandon, dude, we're gonna pray to God. I think I told you a little bit about this, but just to expand, and we'll get to everybody in the chat. By the way, guys, this is just a straight up chill. We're gonna just relax. Me and Brandon are gonna chit chat, answer your questions. You guys can probably dictate the show. So I've been seeing some questions. If you want to ask away, ask away. No rules tonight. Just one of those. This is one of like those chill shows where me and Brandon just get into topics and stuff. Which I've been wanting to do for a while. But anyway, so after the show we had the other night, Brandon, where even when I brought my computer into the internet and it was acting weird, I think it was a combination. It was a perfect storm that night, quite frankly. But the next day, I plugged up my Ethernet again into my computer. Boom, went into the living room, plugged it up into the router, and I was doing a private Patreon stream.
Right.
And everything was going good. And then all of a sudden, maybe every 10, 12 minutes for about 10 seconds, I would cut out. Just cut out really bad. I would either freeze up or get really, really pixelated, but you could still hear me. And then all of a sudden, just like that, boom, back. And I was like, okay, whatever. That's weird. But we did the show, and it was about an hour and a half. And then I did it again the next day. And it was the same thing. All of a sudden, my internet would like get weird, and then for about 10 seconds, again, I would either freeze up or just get really blurry. But my audio stayed the same. Garrett's made it sound like the more people I have on a show, the worse it could possibly get. Which I don't think he's necessarily wrong. I'm just trying to understand the science behind that. It doesn't make sense to me. So that's something to consider too. But anyway, during the last show, I said, I'm going to get Firefox because I figured out whenever I was crapping out on StreamYard through Google Chrome, I had another tab pulled up to the side on Google Chrome, and it was my internet speed test. As soon as I would crap out, I would hit internet speed test button, boom, and I'd have my 100 megapixels. And I was like, so what the hell is going on here? So then I downloaded Mozilla, and it seemed to act fairly okay when I swapped to using this. So I don't know. I just don't know. I'm hoping this works tonight, though.
Yeah, I mean, it could be Google. Like I said to you, I think I said this to you already in a conversation we had. At work, Google's been acting a fool the last week or two, even at work. So I've been using Firefox a lot for stuff at work because Google's been glitching out, freezing up. Tabs have been like closing on their own, and like it's been strange. So maybe it's a problem everywhere. I don't know.
Yeah. So hopefully Firefox does the trick. I'm not gonna talk too much more about it because I don't want to jinx myself. But
knock on wood.
Yeah. Let's say hey to everybody in the chat. Jonathan Sungo, what's going on? Daniel Timms, Rock Music Forever. Orc, what's up, brother? Nuclear Fuzzin', Nathan Mills, Alexis Horror. How you doing, Alexis? Ben Grimm, what's up, man? Adrian James, great question, Ben. I'll get to that in just a second. Erica Lauren Horn Mason, Loki, what's up? Thank you. That's right. Don't forget to drop a like on the show for me to have good internet. How about that? Kevin L, how are you? Summertime Blues, how are you? Nathan, Jaden, what's up? Z Pam, how are you? Lou Mail, who else we got? Stone, what's up, brother? Stone, if everything goes well later on the show, I'll let you hop on with us. Meaning if my internet doesn't crap out on me. Dylan, Rick Hunter. I saw Foz Rotten in here. That's a guy that's like part of like the old Dead Pit days back in like the late 2000s. So how you doing, Foz? I've never talked to you that much before. I don't think I've ever had a conversation, but I know who you are. I'm friends with Jay.
I think
so.
Foz is the one who asked about the favorite
He
hip
did.
hop acts. Yeah.
And I think Foz is a rapper himself. I've seen him on
Nice.
his TikTok or something. And Sam Thomason, how are you? All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? God, my dog's just banging into stuff.
It happens.
Anyway, I saw Daniel says, "What's up, Christian? Thought I'd pop in and say hello. I'm sitting here recovering my rotator cuff surgery. Ouch." Well, Daniel, speedy recovery, man. Speedy recovery. I saw a great question from Ben Grimm. Let me find that. Ben asks, "What's your favorite segment in an anthology movie?" So all timer, do you have a favorite segment, Brandon?
I do. Old Chief Woodenhead from Creepshow 2, all-time favorite for sure. But that's probably tied with Amelia from Trilogy of Terror. It's either or. It depends on the day. But those two are tied for sure.
I did an episode not too long ago. I say an episode. I did a video with Garrett, of all people, on Creepshow 2. It was called The Rise of Creepshow 2 because it's not that the film never had a fan base by any stretch of the imagination, but whenever it gets brought up, I've seen more people say, you know what, I think I like 2 more than 1. And I used to be like, really? Like, really? And then more and more people would say that. More and more people would say that. I can kind of see how people can get there now. The thing that 2 does so well is it's really whimsical and kind of brings out the childhood memories out of you. It's nostalgic, even if you didn't grow up in the 80s in a sense, because like the music for Creepshow 2 has like, it almost sounds like wind. It's really creepy and just kind of like, where the first one is really just heavy thematics and stuff. And then the Old Chief Woodenhead is something right out of a kid's imagination to me. A wooden statue coming to life to get it's right out of a kid's imagination.
I agree. Part 2 almost has a Monster Squad vibe to it in the same way. Like that childlike, whimsical thing you're talking about. I akin it to that Monster Squad in tone.
Is that your favorite Fred Decker movie, Monster Squad?
I guess so. Yeah, I really need to watch it again. Yeah, I haven't really watched it in the last couple of years, but I'm hoping it's as good as I remember it being. You know what I mean? I try to watch it once every couple of years, but it might be one of those films that I watch now. I'm like, oh, this isn't as good as I remember, but I'm really hoping I'm wrong about that.
Oh, I think I think it's my favorite Fred Decker film, but dude, it's really hard to not think that Night of the Creeps is probably one of the best movies of the decade.
Yeah. Speaking of Night of the Creeps, are you surprised they haven't remade that movie yet?
Quite frankly, I never really thought about that till you really just said it.
Because we got the Crazies, and I feel like it's kind of weird that we never got Night of the Creeps.
I'm honestly more surprised that Monster Squad hasn't been remade.
I figured that's what the Dark Universe was going to do. I figured they would release all their monster movies and then kind of build up to a remake of the Monster Squad sort of thing. And then obviously that never came to fruition, but agreed. I feel like that movie's ripe for a remake right now, especially now.
Which would be funny if they did that when you think about it, because Monster Squad what does it say when you avoid? I guess they curtail whatever that word is. They curtail the copyright by making the monster just a monster. They don't call him Frankenstein, and then the creature from the Black Lagoon has a different look for sure, but it's clearly the creature. I actually really like the design.
I do too, man. I think it's sacrilegious almost, but I think I'm not going to say this for sure, but I'm thinking that every creature design in that movie, even Dracula, I think I prefer all the designs in that movie over the original Universal Pictures designs.
Yeah.
The creature from the Black Lagoon design's way better, I think. You can't not love Dracula movie. The Mummy is actually scary in the Monster Squad. The
Oh yeah.
Frankenstein monster is an awesome design. I mean, it's just fantastic.
It's
It's
my favorite.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's my favorite Fred Decker film, which is crazy because I'm like, dude, Tom Atkins is in Night of Creeps, but God, my dog is just making a mess. But the Monster Squad, the opening scene, I really, really love in like that cave or whatever it is, that tomb where they
Mhm.
unlock that. They cause all the shit, right? When they
Yeah.
unlock, they do something, but I love it. And then Dracula calls the little girl for a PG-13 movie. It's like Dracula picks up the daughter and she's you bitch, and
Right.
is like damn. I always forget that happens. I love Monster Squad and Rock Until You Drop. There's this YouTube channel called
Yes.
80s Music something 1980s something movie soundtrack is the name of the channel. But they get like vinyl rips of stuff that's not on songs that aren't on Spotify. Like there's a lot of great songs. I was talking to Alexis about this earlier. Like I'm No Animal by Felony.
Mhm.
You can only listen to that on YouTube. You can't find that from the band on Spotify, on iTunes, nothing. But I've actually been trying to get in contact with that guy and be like, hey, can you vinyl rip that song and put it on there? And he remasters it kind of like you do. And he's like putting a lot of great songs on the internet again from stuff that's been lost. But Rock Until You Drop, I was getting at it's like, dude, just that alone to me, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's a fucking anthem.
it really is. And he uploaded that on the channel. So, yeah.
Yeah, that song was one of the highlights about that movie on VHS is the end credits with that song, man.
It's so good. Um, but hi to everybody. Hi, Brandon. Houston, what's up? CHH and Brandon, how are you, dude? What are people saying? People love Monster Squad. Monster Squad needs a 4K. Dude,
It
are you
does.
kidding me? Favorite Fred Decker. You know, it's funny. You know what's funny? Rock music. Favorite Fred Decker movie, RoboCop 3. I'm kidding. I never finished it. I don't hate RoboCop 3. I don't. I actually like it, but it's the weakest out of the three. But I still kind of like it. I really do. I forgot who it was that played RoboCop, but that's
Mm.
obviously not Peter Weller, you know. Um, Let me answer the question though. What's my favorite segment from a anthology? Just favorite segment of all time? I think somebody actually said it. Have you seen VHS 2?
I haven't seen any of the VHS movies actually.
Oh my god. So, without spoiling it, VHS 2, which I think is the best VHS movie, there's a segment of a group of people going into a cult run by this little Asian guy, and it is fucking terrifying. It's that's all I want to say about it, but it's worth the price of admission. It's one of the best segments in an anthology movie I've ever seen.
Mm.
VHS 2 is amazing, and they keep pumping those things out.
Let's see, how many of those movies are there? I feel like I see a preview for one every single year.
They
There's like
just put
6
out
of them,
one.
right?
There's VHS 1, 2, Viral, which is VHS 3.
Uh-huh.
Then they just did um what was it called? VHS 94, and then they just did VHS 99, which just came out. I watched all
Uh,
of them. I liked 94 a lot. I have it somewhere. It's right over here somewhere. But you would love 94. There's a great segment 94 where this girl is working at a funeral parlor and she's there by herself and she has to just like wait for people to come in for the wake, and
mhm.
nobody comes in, and there's a video camera in there, and then the power goes off in the place, and when the power comes back on, it's a zombie guy coming out of the casket, and it's actually one of the better segments I've seen uh in all of those VHS movies. I really liked it, but VHS 2 is fucking good. I think the chat would probably agree that that VHS 2 is the best one, you
Yeah,
know.
I need to check that series out. I'll give part 2 a whirl.
Yeah. I got this from MVD. They sent me this. So do you know anything about this? Heartlands of Darkness. Apparently it's like a big deal. It's some
No.
lost Linnea Quigley film that finally came out on physical media. I need to watch it and review it.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
video.
year?
It's 1989.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Visual Vengeance. But yeah, apparently this is some lost Linnea Quigley film. I wonder if this is a shot on video.
That's trippy.
It's in full screen aspect ratio 1:33:1. What is that? You probably know
They
what that
probably
is.
they probably shot that on video then. If they were shooting it in full frame native, it was probably video.
Yeah.
I guess they could have been shooting it on high. I guess that would have still been video. It's probably video. I'm curious to see what the quality looks like.
It says new director supervised SD master from original tape and film elements. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it's shot on video. It looks like some kind of cheap thing, but apparently it's pretty legendary. I mean, yeah, people were freaking out when this got announced.
I didn't even hear about that.
I didn't either, but MVD. What happened was when MVD got when I found out that what's it called? Ghost Watch. Do you know about Ghost Watch?
No, I watched the video the other day. You've piqued my interest in it. You
Dude.
and Lauren talking about it the other night. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. So dude, it's so forward thinking. Ghost Watch is really like it's 92. It's way before Blair Witch, and
Right.
it's really found footage. It really is. But it's presented as a news broadcast, like a BBC news broadcast. And it's about like this poltergeist in this house with this mom and her two daughters, which is really kind of like Conjuring 2 almost, which I have
Right.
no idea if they got any influence from the Ghost Watch story, because it's eerily similar. But it's like presented as found footage in a sense, because it's like not real, but it's acting like it's so real, and it's really, really good. But I wanted to review that, so I got that from MVD, but they sent me Heartlands of Darkness. I guess they just sent it to me, and they gave me Christmas Cruelty, which I got to watch too. But apparently this thing's a big deal, Brandon. I'm going to have to watch it to see what the fuss is about. But I
Awesome.
read that it's the lost Linnea Quigley film that never got, it maybe got a VHS, and like that was it. So I don't know.
The fact that there is a lost Linnea Quigley film blows my mind. Like, what the hell kind of random ass shit is that?
Yeah. What I love is the fact that her Halloween workout tape is coming out on Blu-ray. Now that I love. I think that's on Tubi.
I've never seen that. I've never watched that, I don't think.
It's funny. It's like sexy and funny, and it's like she's like working out by the pool, and there's zombies and shit, and
That's funny.
Yeah. But hello to everybody here. I'm keeping up with the comments. What's up, Nick? I see you. Mel, My Killer Podcast. How are you? Bobby, how are you? But yeah, go ahead, Brandon.
No, I was just gonna say it's there's some hidden gems in horror that were shot on video, like that movie you're talking about now with Linnea Quigley. If it's shot on video, like Redneck Zombies, I remember renting that from Blockbuster in the late '90s, early 2000s. I remember my uncle saying, "Dude, this was shot on videotape," and it just adds to the fucking charm of these movies, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's Trauma, right? Redneck
Yeah,
Zombies.
I think so. Yeah, pretty sure.
One of these days, I had the DVD, and I think it got lost in moves. But every time I would go to this place, and I went to a Second and Charles store, I would see the DVD, and I never grab it, and I don't know why. I guess they probably wanted a few bucks for it, because they're wise that it's a Trauma DVD, and you don't really see those that much. So they probably wanted like 15 or 16 bucks for it. I need to just grab it, because I love Redneck Zombies.
Yeah, it's so good.
Damn it! What was I gonna say? Oh, so Brandon, let's bring this up. Let's answer a few questions first, and then I have something I want to ask you that I'm excited about. Jack, the horror movie geek. Speaking of Linnea, what characters of hers do you like better? Suzanne from Night of the Demons, or Trash from Return of the Living Dead? That's easy. That's easy. How could anything be better than Trash?
That's true. That's true.
I'm not the biggest Night of the Demons fan, which always surprises people. I guess they expect I would love it. I think it's fine, but it's not my favorite.
No, I think part 2 is way better also, for being honest. I think Night of the Demons 2 is a lot more fun.
I agree.
The first one. But she does look pretty killer as the demon. She looks pretty freaky in that makeup.
I never understood. Is there supposed to be some kind of sexual appeal to her shoving a piece of lipstick through her nipple? To me, it's just gross.
Yeah, it's just a weird piece of horror iconography that I'm not really sure.
Sexy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I can't. I can't. By the way, this is absolutely true, what Nick is saying. 1000% true. Anybody that wants to see it, I'll gladly share it with you. But I would never send it to anybody with I'll never send anybody without them asking. It is literally the grossest thing I've ever seen in all 30 years of walking planet Earth.
I agree with what was it? I'm gonna mispronounce his name, so I apologize. Is it Lopke Fission Films?
Yeah, Cody Lopke. Some
Okay,
people
yeah,
say Lepke. I say Lopke. He's never
Lopke.
corrected me though, so I'm gonna
Well,
assume I'm saying it right.
I agree with this sentiment 100%, man. I want a 4K of that shit. That making of Thriller is awesome.
Did you see that they updated the music video on YouTube though?
No, I did not see this.
First of all, I didn't know you could do this on YouTube. So Thriller has been on Michael Jackson's official YouTube channel since like 2008.
Mhm.
And somehow they were able to go into the original video file without re-uploading it and keeping all the views and stuff. And if you go to Michael Jackson's channel and type in just Thriller, the music video, you can watch it. I was shocked because people were talking about this and I was like, okay, let me go see how cool this is. The music video for Thriller has been remastered in 4K on YouTube
Oh
from
shit.
Michael's. And when I say, Brandon, it looks so good, dude, I think you'll agree with this. The best zombie makeup effects I think I've ever seen in my entire life are in that music video.
Oh, hands down. Yeah, I made videos about this, man. Those zombies are scary as fuck.
You
They're
did make
scary as
videos.
fuck, dude. Those zombies scare the shit out of me.
Now that it's been remastered, you can see everything, and it looks so good. It makes me wonder, okay, whoever's doing that remastering, they need to be doing everything for physical media. Whoever, like, they need to take over Paramount's, that wing of their stuff. Like, they needed to be doing everything because it is shot. It looks so good just on the YouTube 4K. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'll need to check. That's awesome. I didn't know that. If that's some kind of YouTube special privilege that I want access to. There's some movie I would love to replace my current.
You could do your Loon.
Right. Without having to do a whole new fucking re-upload in a different file.
Right.
Bastards.
Yeah. We need Night of the Demons 3 from Vestron. I actually lucked out, Daniel. I don't know where it's at, but my good friend Kyle hooked me up with a homebrew of that.
You want to see something weird actually about Night of the Demons 3? Give me 1 second.
It is Lepke. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Cody. To me, it looks like Lopke because the O comes before the E, but it's Lepke. Okay. Real question. How did Christian come across a video of a guy eating his own shit? One of my work friends said, dude, check out what I found on Reddit.
Have you seen this before, Christian? This release?
Hold on. Demon House? Is that what that says?
Demon House. It's a foreign DVD. I bought Night of the Demons 3 offline 5-6 years ago before I got the Blu-rays. And this is what came in the mail. I was like, what the hell is this? And it is Night of the Demons 3.
No, it's not.
It is. Look at that if you can see that, but it's totally Night of the Demons 3. I watched it and everything. It's totally it.
So wait. Did you buy that before knowing what happened? Or you did some research or you just lucked out?
I think I went to eBay and I bought Night of the Demons 3 and the cover said Night of the Demons 3, right? And when it came in the mail, it came with an 18 stamp. So I know it was foreign and it said Demon House. And I guess I found out from them that it must have been called this overseas or something. You know what I mean?
You're kidding me.
It was just the weirdest release I think I have in my collection. It is so strange, but it's Night of the Demons 3.
You're kidding.
It's the most random fucking release in my DVD collection. But I'm not a big fan of that movie though. I think part 3 is kind of weak, but it's
I gotta watch. Yeah, I gotta watch Demon. I've watched Night of the Demons 1 and 2, and I have to echo your sentiment. I think Night of the Demons 2 is just better.
It's just fun, and it's fucking funniest. The nun chick is funny as hell.
It's hysterical. It's
awesome. I think the remake's pretty good too, if we're being honest, but that's just me.
Quentin says Thriller is a good song, Christian. Well, you know what, Quentin? I absolutely agree. And nobody asked me about Michael Jackson being innocent or guilty. I'm not getting into it. Unless Brandon is, if you're okay with giving your thoughts, I'll give my thoughts.
I can give my thoughts.
Go ahead.
I think he's innocent. I think he was fucking weird, and a lot of the stuff he did was inappropriate. But do I think he diddled little kids? I don't think so. Just because that stuff happens every day. But so many kids have come out since saying he never did that to me, like Macaulay Culkin, Corey Feldman, who's been calling out pedophiles in Hollywood, but he's like Michael Jackson wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
That leads me to believe that there was a bunch of narcissistic, money-hungry parents who are
He
going after easy money. And he shouldn't have been, he put himself in those positions. But do I think he was diddling little kids? No, I don't. Weird, yes. Doing that, no. But
Michael did say that he regretted settling on that first court case, but his lawyers were like, dude, if you go to court, this was the rationale that Michael said his lawyers gave to him. If you go to court, you're guilty. Doesn't matter
right.
the outcome. If you go through the process of court and the cameras are on you, you are guilty.
Mhm.
That's the way the public's going to perceive it.
Yeah.
I mean, with OJ, it's like he went to court, he won, but people still think he's guilty. That that kind of is like goes with the thing. But I look, obviously it goes without saying pedophiles should be castrated and killed. With that
Yes.
being said, I think nobody should ever be as famous as Michael Jackson ever again, because it's clear to see that how unnormal of a life that guy lived. There's a video of Michael Jackson where he closed down a grocery store so he could go in there and push a buggy around and get groceries to feel normal.
Yeah.
And the other thing I would add is, and again, if you believe he's guilty, obviously I'm agreeing with Brandon. If you believe he's guilty, it's not something we need to go back and forth about, because look, none of it has any bearing on our own lives at this point. But when Corey Feldman hit rock bottom a few years ago, and believe me, he hit rock bottom because he was playing a nosedive bar in Monroe, Louisiana with the Angels. So don't tell me he didn't hit rock bottom. And he started talking about when the Weinstein thing hit off. If Feldman wanted to make money, who's the one person you think he would say touched him as a kid to make money and get attention? Michael Jackson. He still never said that. He could have, and he would have been the center of attention. He never did it. So that's all I'll say about that.
And same with Macaulay Culkin. Again, real quick, just to add one more thing. If Macaulay Culkin could get a lot of new fame and notoriety if he were to come out and say that, but he still maintains that, Mike wasn't weird to him at all in that way. So,
yeah.
But
there we go. It's right. Michael's dead, so it doesn't matter. But, I'm getting better about sharing my opinion on the internet and just not dealing with the consequences.
Yeah, and it kind of does matter, because whether he was innocent or not, we'll never know. But he went to the grave with his reputation forever tarnished, no matter what. Right. It's always going to be that stigma. So it does kind of matter. You know what I mean?
Here's one thing here's one thing we could all agree on. R. Kelly did all that shit. He didn't even hide it, Brandon. He didn't. He was filming it.
Yeah, a shiver went down my spine when he first said "Ark." Like, oh no, we're going here.
What if I would have said R. Kelly's innocent?
Oh my god,
man, yo,
you would have been canceled immediately. Your internet would have been shut off. It would have been over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Deep Blue Sea, dude? That's my jam. Anything with LL Cool J doesn't he have a parrot on his shoulder?
He does.
He's got a parrot on his shoulder. And dude, I remember when we first rented that movie, seeing Samuel L. Jackson didn't he get eaten by a killer? It was a killer whale, right?
I think it was a shark.
Was it?
I think he was talking like in the bottom of the ship or something. The shark just comes out of nowhere and snatches him.
I'm sick of these mother effing sharks.
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea, that's Rennie Harlan directed that too. Nightmare 4, Prison.
I remember enjoying Deep Blue Sea a lot when they came out.
Yeah.
Even back then, it was a surprise. I was like, this is actually a good movie. Well, I haven't seen it since then. But
it's fantastic. Deep Blue Sea is probably in a small handful of non-Jaws shark movies that are good. Yeah. I would put Deep Blue Sea in there. I would honestly put what's that movie where the broad's surfing by herself in like this private water area, and she gets stuck on a little boulder sticking out of the water where the shark's trying to kill her. And
The Shallows.
Brie Larson, is that who that was?
I think it was the chick from that movie Savages.
I guess I could Google it.
Yeah, what's her name? She was in everything for like a 5-year period. What the hell was her name? Someone's going to say it in the chat. It's going to piss me off because somebody's like, "Why did Blake Lively?" God damn it, Nick.
Blake Lively?
Yep, that was her.
Yeah.
She annoys the fuck out of me, but
That I like that movie.
Yeah, that was pretty tense. I think I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, that's good. The Shallows. What was the other one people were saying?
I haven't seen 47 meters down yet. I heard that was really good.
47 meters down is pretty good. I like 47 meters down too because it's ridiculous and they go to like this like water, like it's a bad good movie. One of Stallone's daughters is in it. It's not a good movie, but it's a great movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I like shitty shark movies too. Don't get me wrong. There's a ton of them. What were those movies called? Was it called Mastodon or something? Where like I can't remember what movie it was. Megalodon. Megalodon. Yeah. I loved Mastodon.
It's not a shark movie, but did you see Orca?
Oh, from like 80.
Yeah.
That's a damn good movie.
It's a pretty intense fucking movie for being a ripoff. You know what I mean? It's a kind of crazy savage movie, man.
Yeah, it's kind of a revenge film too. That was Dino De Laurentiis. Scream Factory put that out. Kind of like a revenge movie, right? Because doesn't the fisherman like kill the killer whale's
It does.
babies?
And that scene kind of screwed me up as a kid when I saw that shit. Like, what the hell is happening here?
Yeah.
It's a fucked up movie.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
But, I don't know, man. I feel like Jaws 2 still needs some more street credit. Like, that movie is still so underrated, and I think it's a fucking great sequel.
Not only that, it's got the best poster of the franchise too.
It does, and like the cinematography is still killer. It matches the first one. It's like Halloween 1 and 2 to me. Jaws 2 is of equal quality. Like, it doesn't have Richard Dreyfuss. It's not as revered by any means because it's a slasher on the water. I get that. But like part 2 is really fucking well made technically. And I just like the fact that the story, I mean, it's out there, but like, I don't know, it's just got some good drama in it. It's a fucking good movie, man.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Everybody I talk to, they're like, that movie fucking sucks. I'm like, does it? When's the last time you've seen it?
Absolutely not. I think Jaws 2 is phenomenal.
It's great. It's great.
I have a friend that he's been able to talk to before he passed. Who's the actor that plays Chief Brody? God damn it, Michael McCormick, my friend, who's actually the musician who did the soundtrack for one of the documentaries, and he got to talk to I can't remember anybody's name tonight. What's the actor's name? By the time I Google it, somebody will tell me. Here we go. My internet's actually working for once. Roy Scheider. Roy Scheider. Thank you. Roy was not happy on the set of that movie. And
I heard something about that.
And I have a gorgeous book that goes into it, but yeah, it was a rough making of. Still a lot of problems with the production of that movie. Always the shark still went through ups and downs on getting it to work, but I like Jaws 2 a lot. I love the ending where he's like, say ah, and he makes him bite the
cord. Yeah,
dude, the scene where the Christine guy is on the boat with the chick, and does the Christine kid get killed? I know the girl was on the boat and she displayed such good shock and like panic. Do you remember when was it Brody's
They're on
wife?
the sailboat, right?
They're on the sailboat.
I think he gets knocked off or something.
He gets knocked off, and the blonde haired chick, she literally is cowering like under the corner of like the sailboat.
Yeah.
And I think Roy Scheider's wife in the movie finds her and like she's terrified, and she did such a good performance wise. That was awesome.
Yeah, I really liked the teens in that movie. Like, they were good. They weren't great actors, but like, you didn't fucking hate the teens out of the gate with that movie. As annoying as they were in the films, in the story, like, they were likable characters to an extent.
Oh yeah. I have a Jaws bathroom. My whole bathroom's Jaws themed.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie needs a fucking 4K release. We don't have one, right? There's no 4K of Jaws 2, correct?
Just Jaws.
Yeah, we need a 4K of 2.
I think Universal should just put out 2, 3, and 4 on 4K as a pack and get it over with.
Where do you stand on 4?
Love it.
Do you really?
But context is absolutely key. It's a terrible, awesome movie. Like the idea that actually, if you look at the movie this way, I think it can kind of make sense. Hello to everybody here. I see new faces here. Oh, what's
See,
up, Ken?
Ken's here, Nick's here, Garrett's here, everybody's here.
Yeah. What's up, guys? I don't know how everybody else feels, but I think some people might meet me this way. So the movie is Chief Brody's wife.
Mhm.
And she thinks like the shark is a shark is getting revenge because now Brody has killed 2 sharks in a row.
Right.
And she thinks maybe like the sharks are commiserating about this bastard cop that is killing our friends, whatever. So we see the youngest son get his hand ripped off, and actually a pretty damn good opening scene in Jaws: The Revenge, right?
It is. Yep.
And then she goes to the Bahamas to go with the other kid, Nick. Was his name not Nick? What's the actor's name? Nick something, I think. It's the kid from Halloween 2, the one that wants to give Jamie Lee a Coke. How about a Coke?
Oh yes, he is in that movie. That's right. God damn it.
I want to say his name is Nick, but I could be wrong.
I'm looking this up right now.
Dude, I just hear Lance Guest.
Son of a bitch. Yep.
I don't know why I was thinking Nick, but so she goes to the Bahamas to live with him, and she's freaking out, thinking the shark's going to come back and kill her family. If you take that whole movie and put the movie through the mom having like legitimate like schizoaffective paranoid delusions, then the movie kind of makes sense. When there's just a shark attack happening, but in her own delusional mind, she thinks this is a shark family revenge plot to kill off her family. Like, if you play the movie that she's psychotic and she's got this all in her head, then I can to me, it makes sense that way. But that
would be a pretty trippy fucking ending.
But if they would have gone into that to where she really was like losing her mind a little bit, then, but they really, the legend goes that that movie was made because Lorraine Gary, I believe is her name. That's the only name I get right tonight. That's who plays Chief Brody's wife. That movie was a present to her from her husband, who I believe was president of Universal or a vice president of Universal at the time. The movie was a gift to her because I don't think she started a whole lot of stuff. But in my Jaws bathroom, I have a original 24/7x40 on the wall in the bathroom that was clearly owned by a heavy smoker because the entire rim. You know how like on original posters, there's the white base and then there's a white base. And sometimes you could see a little bit of the white base in the frame. It's completely yellowed. It's completely yellowed and darkened. Like this is just a heavy smoker owned this thing. And if you open up and smell it, you could smell Newports, which I love.
Awesome.
I absolutely love it. But yeah, I'll take you a picture of it. But I bought it years and years ago because I was like, I want a Jaws poster, and I went on eBay and somebody was selling an original Jaws 4 poster for like $15, and I was like, well, I was gonna get a print of the original, but I may as well get Jaws: The Revenge.
That's fantastic.
That's
better. That's almost better, man, because there's a little bit more of an oddity to that. Better story.
Yeah, I actually don't think there's a bad Jaws. Well, I say no, that's not true because I said Jaws 4 is a bad movie, but I still really enjoy it. I don't think there's a boring Jaws film. I think 3 is fucking a blast, quite frankly. I love Jaws 3. And it's like in Shamu Land, right? Don't they do it in
I think they shot most of it, if not all of it, at the SeaWorld here, an hour from my house.
No shit.
Yeah. Which is kind of cool. Obviously the whole park looks different now, but I've heard that there's still certain areas in the park that you can see that match up, but I don't think there's much left really of that original park.
The only thing about Jaws 3D that I can think of is the 3D effects in it are pretty shitty by today's standards. They look pretty bad. Like there's a shot of like half of like some kind of like perch looking fish. Like in the beginning that got like half of his body. It looks pretty hokey, but it's fun. I think it's all fun. Hopefully they never remake that,
I remember not liking part 3 as a kid, and I didn't like it like 10 years ago when I saw it last time. I wasn't a fan of 3. I need to rewatch it because everybody gives that movie love. And I feel like I'm just being an asshole. I need to rewatch it and see, reassess it. But part 4, man, as a kid, I liked part 4 a lot. Saw it last couple of years, did not like it at all. But
Why?
part 4 is so weird and moody, and it's fucking like it's a Christmas time movie, right? It takes place over Christmas.
It is a Christmas time movie, but
But it's so depressing and dark, man. I really need to reassess it again because I know I probably like it somewhere deep down.
watch it through the lens of she's going through paranoid, like schizoaffective delusions. Not in the sense that the shark attacks aren't happening, but she's really just psychotic that for some reason thinks that these sharks are getting revenge and killing her family.
There's a blood feud with her family and the sharks of the deep.
Yeah, she's mental. Cody says, do posters hold up right in the bathroom with the scene for sure? Well, it's in a poster frame, which is closed up from the back. I haven't had any issues with it. Summertime Blue says, Howling overall, but American Werewolf in London, best transformation scene. I would agree from a technical standpoint, but the thing I don't like about I say I don't like it. I think American Werewolf in London is fantastic. I think it's an amazing film, but I actually don't really love the fact that that scene just takes place in a bright apartment room. I really like the moodiness of the Howling's transformation scene. Technically, Rick Baker is unmatched. Let's get that straight. I mean, he's obviously one of the greatest to ever do it. But I like that the Howling's transformation scene is shadowed and highlighted and creepier. But I mean, I'm a Howling fan more than the American Werewolf in London fan, which we're growing. I'm seeing more Howling people come out, but it's hard to pick. I love American Werewolf in London so much too.
Yeah. Speaking of American Werewolf, where do you stand on Paris?
Love it.
Likewise. I wish they would go back and redo the CGI on the werewolves because they look so bad and dated.
They do.
Fucking story is good, man. I like that it's a direct sequel to, and like it's a spiritual sequel, but it's a direct sequel. You see the ghost of the chick from the first movie show up for a split second. That's cool, man.
It is cool. Damn it, I don't know where it's at. I have a Spanish Blu-ray that I got off Amazon. I think they're Boots, but it looks pretty good. But a German company put that out on 4K, which is region free because 4K is. But yeah, American Werewolf in Paris. Shit. American Werewolf in Paris and Leatherface 2017 from this company got like released on the same day on 4K. Like, what a low bar to set for 4K.
Wow.
Titles.
That's pretty trippy.
Can you imagine, like, hey, what's in the mail today? Well, we got American Werewolf in Paris and Leatherface 2017 on 4K.
Shit, I need Leatherface 2017 on 4K.
That's right. You're a big fan of that. Well, you're a fan of it. I mean,
decent fan. Yeah, I think it's way better than people give it credit for. But yeah.
What's the best 3D horror movie you've ever seen? I think My Bloody Valentine remake does the gimmick pretty well. That's a great example for sure because they really leverage into the 3D in My Bloody Valentine. I'm a bigger fan of the remake, dude. Fucking sue me. I'm sorry. The remake for My Bloody Valentine is so good, especially from that. Todd Farmer and Patrick Lussier is a match made in heaven. I really wish we would have gotten Halloween 3D. That would have been the best 3D movie ever. Can you imagine Tyler Mane as a 3D Michael Myers?
We still could now, man. We still could now. Technically, they can do whatever the fuck they want to.
I'd feel they'd really be scraping the bottom of the barrel with ideas, though, to do that. Only because of like, okay, we're gonna rehash. We eliminated these films, but now we're gonna reinstate them. That'd be a weird. I mean, then again, I don't know. If they did it direct to video, possibly. Like, I'm no bullshit because direct to video, it's like, well, who cares?
That would work.
In terms of like going there, right?
Here's the question, though. I don't know if I've asked this before. I'll get off Halloween. I know we're sick of talking about Halloween. Probably. I'm not, but whatever. Now that the trilogy's over with, if the studio were to go to Rob Zombie and throw a bunch of money at him and say, dude, we want you back to write and direct a Halloween 3, do you think he would do it? If he had full creative control again, just like Halloween 2. It's been a long time since that movie.
This is what I was going to say. First off, he said, I got to bring this up again because not only do I love it, but you get all the information there. Again, Charles Band's podcast, Full Moon Freak Show, amazing podcast. He just had Rob Zombie on. I was listening to the episodes while I was in Kentucky for Scarefest. He said he'd never work for Bob Weinstein again because he said Bob is literally a psycho who cusses out people just for looking at him. And it sounds like he's only ever going to do anything where he's got complete creative control, where he doesn't have to deal with somebody like Bob Weinstein again. So with that being said, if he got his question, he always he likes to ask. He talked about is how much money do you want me to make this for to where you'll leave me alone? You know, that kind like, you know, that kind of budget. Under those circumstances, I don't see why he wouldn't. It just sounds like what's important to him because he doesn't. He makes probably in a month on tour what he would make doing that movie anyway. So I don't think the
Oh,
money's
yeah.
really a problem. It's just the mental health that he would want, meaning
Yeah.
like be left alone.
I
So I
mean,
think he'd do
Halloween
it.
is yeah, he probably would, I guess. Halloween is such a cheap concept. You don't need millions and millions and millions of dollars to do it. He could do it for 3 from Hell money. I mean, really, it's just a guy in a suit with a knife. You don't need $10 million to make a fucking Halloween film unless you're paying Jamie Lee Curtis. You know what I mean? So that would be doable for Leave Me Alone money, I feel like.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe one day. Let's see what people are saying. Watched the Jason X podcast earlier today and really enjoyed it. I hope there is another discussion coming up soon about another movie. Well, I know me and Nick are recording tomorrow night, so we haven't decided on a topic. If anybody has some good ideas for us, let us know. We'll listen.
Watch Shock 'em Dead live. Do that.
Shock 'em Dead live?
I don't think has Nick seen Shock 'em Dead? Nick, call me out in the comments. Have you seen Shock 'em Dead?
Anyway. Best practical effects in horror, asks Adrian James. I'm trying to think of a non-typical answer. Because anytime I see that, the first thing that comes to mind for me is The Thing. But what's another really good one?
Day of the Dead.
Yeah. You know what I want to shout out? Honestly, I guess it's practical effects. No, this is makeup effects. No, never mind. I'm gonna have another example. Pumpkinhead. That's an insane design. But that's makeup effects too, technically. Does practical effects, is that an umbrella term for makeup?
I mean, Pumpkinhead's a giant. He's a giant like animatronic, right? So that still counts as practical effects, I think.
Well, some of it is, but when you see him walking in the film, it's like amazing. That's a person like it's this person inside of this giant suit, for lack of a better term, that they get in. It almost looks like Ripley in Aliens and that big yellow. That's what that's what the skeleton of it looks like, of what that person's doing.
There's your answer right there, man. Alien or Aliens. That's a good fucking example of practical effects.
Aliens, man.
Dude, fucking A.
Any fans of Ginger Snaps? Yeah, I love Ginger Snaps. The Dentist is awesome. God, Corbin Burnson is the greatest. But it's no Dr. Giggles.
That's true.
All right, let's see. Brandon Houston says he's a big fan of Werewolf in Paris.
Excellent.
My friend's cousin wrote Leatherface 2017. That's awesome, Ben. Let me get him on the podcast.
That sounds like a documentary title.
My friend's cousin wrote Leatherface.
Like a mockumentary.
Somebody's talking about Howard the Duck in the chat. Have you seen Howard the Duck?
Not in a long time, thank God.
I got that on 4K. That came out on 4K. Garrett loves that movie. He loves Howard the Duck. He loves that duck. He loves it.
Howard the Duck. I mean, it wasn't a terrible movie, I don't think, from what I remember, but that was a movie I rented a lot as a kid, but never enjoyed it.
Super hype and then underperformed.
Right.
But you know what? Let's talk about this for a second, Brandon. Don't you kind of miss that? Like, we talked about this on the last episode. Don't you like kind of miss how Hollywood just took big swings and they failed? Like, now everything is so roundtable discussed by executives, which is why it's all boiled down to superhero movies.
That's right. Yeah. If it's not going to make $200 million, they're not going to bother putting it up.
Yeah. Screen tests, round tests, this, that. We got to test this. We got to test that. We got to market this. Marketing, this, that. Don't you just love it how they just like pumped all this money into a talking gorilla movie and called it Congo? And then
Yes.
people were like, what the fuck? But dude, you went to Taco Bell at the time. Guess what kind of toys you're getting? You're getting Congo toys. If you went to Toys R Us or KB Toys, guess what was on the shelf? Congo. And it flopped. Don't you miss
Yep.
that? They
I
just took
do.
big swings.
I do. There was a video of the guy. What the hell's his name? Jason Bourne, the actor.
Uh,
God, I'm
dude, I can't remember.
I'm playing on names tonight too, man. Whatever the fuck his name is, the Dogma guy, the guy who's always with Ben Affleck. Somebody asked him a similar question. You probably seen the video a year or two ago, and he says it's impossible to make a yeah. Matt Damon, thanks, Nick. He says it's impossible to make movies nowadays unless you're spending.
I saw that.
Yeah, and he explains it like I'm like, dude, that's the nail on the head, and that's what sucks about the industry now.
He also talked about the importance of physical media too,
Yep.
because you remember he said, and if you didn't do it, you know, box office was important, but it wasn't the end all be all, because then when the DVDs came out, we'd make 10, 12 million off of that, and that
Yeah.
would fund, you know, so it's like there were different channels of there were different channels of revenue. Nowadays, it's like it's all or nothing with that. You either get an upfront deal, I assume, from like for instance, Rob Zombie claims, and I don't have any reason to think the guy's lying. Because he talked about it on Charles Ben's podcast as well. He said the Munsters thing had been in works on and off for like the last 20 years apparently, and he said when he officially signed on to it, he said when I signed on, it was already going to Netflix. That was already a deal put in place.
Mhm.
So that makes so if something that means that must be an upfront deal to buy the film and give some sort of money up front, whether it's like a big lump sum of like, let's say 15 million, or if they say, I don't know how it works. I wish somebody would be transparent about this, because I always wonder if they buy a movie, do they track how many plays it gets and give that percentage based off of that per, I don't know, per fiscal season or something. I always wondered how that works exactly. But regardless, it's like that's the avenues of movies making money: deals with streaming sites
Yep.
or theatrical. You know, because they say physical media is dead, which who knows how much the average person is really buying movies anymore. It's interesting that DVD is still the most popular selling physical media format in 2022, though.
It's the longest running now too, isn't it? I mean, it's been around for what, 25 years now? DVD?
I think it hit the scene in 96, 95, 96. But
That's fucking crazy, man.
yeah.
It's so long. I don't know, man. Physical media, I'm getting worried because, like, when I go to Best Buy and Target, I sent you guys those pictures of Target. They're, at least at our Target, the fucking physical media section is condensed to a small little end cap and then like a cube. That's it.
Yeah.
Same with Best Buy. Like, there's hardly anything at Best Buy except for like some of the new 4K stuff. They still have some rare stuff at ours, but like it's really depressing.
It is.
We don't want to lose physical media. I don't want to, because I feel like it's not going to make a comeback if it goes away completely.
Well, no, and you know, that's why it's always important to just buy what you can and own what you love, because especially if it's something that, quite frankly, I don't even want to say it could be deemed as offensive, but quite frankly, almost anything that has a goddamn sense of humor nowadays, because it's just getting. I have friends that aren't physical media collectors per se, Brandon, but guess what? They own The Simpsons on DVD because apparently Disney, I think, owns they have the show on their site, but they've taken out episodes. Like they're gone.
They have, and also their aspect ratio is all fucking screwed up on Disney Plus with some of the older episodes. They've stretched them to fit widescreen. Like, what are you doing?
I can't stand that.
Can't stand it. I got all the Simpsons on DVD too. I didn't sell those, but dude, Christian, you can't see my shelves here. But these were full of DVDs years ago. Full.
Excuse me.
Over full. And I fucking sold 90% of them. I'm filled with indescribable rage at myself about that shit, because I sold 90% of my DVDs, man.
Were you going into streaming? You were accepting it, or
I had just got Blu-ray finally. I jumped into that whirlpool. I was like, I'm going to replace everything anyway. I don't need these. I was in that mindset. Plus, Isabella was on the way, so I was trying to clear space, get some more last-minute scratch, and like it was at the time a good idea. But I'm looking back, I'm like, some of those DVDs are like $70 on eBay, and I sold them for like $2.
I swear to God, DVD's coming back. We've talked about this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to replenish. Yeah,
it's going to become the new VHS. You
Yeah.
know, people are gonna want, well, I don't feel like going back and reaching it, but like that first Return of the Living Dead DVD that looks like the poster, that MGM DVD, it's just got a charm to it when you look at it now, because that thing's like from 2001, even maybe even 99. People, which the fan base even back then made a petition to get MGM to put that movie out on DVD. Dan O'Bannon even got involved to help make the original DVD happen, which is awesome. But
Yeah.
it's charming when you look at it now. I think people are going to be like, "Oh, that's cool to collect." DVD's going to
Yeah.
come back,
It is. Yeah.
or they're
I'm
going to
seeing.
become pricey.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. Um, Nick, I see your comment about The Office. Yeah, we have it too on Blu-ray. I'm glad we own that shit because I think Peacocks, they've been butchering The Office.
yeah, I got that on.
Um,
As soon as we lost it on Netflix,
yeah.
I went to Walmart. Walmart, like, I noticed it was very interesting how all of a sudden Walmart stocked the shelves. I mean,
Mhm.
2 or 3 rows full of The Office on, I bought them on DVD because I was like, I'll just save a few bucks and get them on DVD. I don't need this to be in great, great quality, but I have the show on DVD as well.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm so glad that Steve Carell is like, "No, I'm not doing a reboot of The Office because we
Yeah.
can't be funny."
They can't recapture that. You just can't. Even if
Yeah.
they did, it wouldn't be the same no matter what. We wouldn't think it was as good. It could be 10 times better and we would think it was lesser. You just can't redo it.
You can't do it, yeah. And
I
that
saw that
Seinfeld's the same way. Jerry's like, never. He says he's been offered money that he was on Stern last year or year before that I was listening to, and Jerry said that just because Howard's gonna get into that kind of stuff, and
mm,
he's like, "Come on, man, what's it gonna take for you to get back to do like a Seinfeld like one episode special or whatever?" And Jerry's like, "You wouldn't believe the numbers I've gotten, like the actual dollar amount. You wouldn't believe it." And he's like, "How much? 10 million?" He's like, "Way more." 30
yeah.
million? He's like, "Way more." He goes, "It's not about the money. I know it would tarnish the legacy of the show. That show is beloved because as more time goes, yeah, it's all the stuff that people realize. It's like, dude, and I'm not even the biggest Seinfeld fan. I like Seinfeld. It's not my favorite. I was always more of like the wacky family stuff, like the
Mm,
Married with Children, like that was always
yes.
my thing, which thank God they haven't done enough of that because I keep hearing about Married with Grandchildren all the
Oh
time.
God. I've never seen a single episode of Seinfeld. Not
It's
one.
it's
I
if
need
you
to
look,
watch it.
it's
I need to
so
watch it.
if you go on Wikipedia, look up the seasons in order and look at the average viewership. It's weird how it starts out shitty, gets a little bit better, gets a little bit better. I think the fourth season actually dips. Third or fourth season actually dips down.
Mhm.
Like, instead of growing, it went down, but then the season after that, it just skyrocketed. And then by
Yeah.
the end of the show, there was like 70 million people watching Seinfeld.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was amazing.
That's a
Absolutely
monster.
amazing.
That's a monster.
Yeah.
I'm getting worried about all these old shows, man, because like that 70s show is a show that I don't own anymore on DVD. And there's a new version at Walmart I saw released this year. And I want a Blu-ray version, but that's few and far in between. It's a rare release. But the new DVD version, I'm like, this looks cool, like $50. But have they cut anything from that release? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck have they butchered from that? I'm worried about physical releases now too in that regard. Like, if they re-release Cheers on physical media, I'll be worried about shit being cut out of that show. Because like Cheers would get taken off the air today. It would be canceled. You know what I mean? Like, I'm worried about a lot of these shows, man, because they're taken off Netflix. They're rebranded on Peacock and whatever the fuck else. I know I'm on a tangent here, but like, I feel like
Well,
they're just
don't censor the shit. Like, just put if and this is why I'm glad I bought all this shit before the world started getting really, really. I say the world before before companies start succumbing to this kind of
craziness.
stuff.
Yeah.
If it's really, I think Joe Bob Briggs actually said this. Just if there's something that can be deemed controversial by today's standards, put a disclaimer in the beginning.
Mhm.
Say if you're bothered or upset with content regarding blah 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 blah, get rid of it. Did somebody say there's a funny episode of The Office, which is pretty much every episode, where blackface gets referenced, not
Yeah.
in a legitimate racist way. The thing about Steve Carell's character is he's an ignorant fool. he doesn't realize how wrong he is about stuff, and that's what makes him funny. He's not a like that. So the complaints that people would have about the show would be completely uninformed and stupid, because the last thing that show is mean or racist or offensive,
Yeah.
because Steve Carell's character is the exact opposite. He's just an ignorant fool that gets himself into trouble but always manages his way out of it with just being whatever. But my point is, I think there was an episode that got pulled from The Office.
It was the Belschnickel episode. Remember, Dwight was Belschnickel, and his assistant guy was dressed up as I forgot the character's name in history, the folklore.
Right.
It's Belschnickel's like assistant elf.
That's like
and the guy was wearing sort of blackface, and like I could see how it could be taken offensively, but it was all in good taste on the show. But I think before it got pulled from Netflix, they actually took the shot out. The episode was still there, but they took out the shot.
Yeah, they took
and obviously Peacock. I'm sure Peacock fucking waived the whole fucking episode. But that kind of stuff bothers me a little bit.
Well, it's my thing is this. It's like, look, we're all adults. And if you got kids, and if you personally think, like you, Brandon, if let's just say you didn't want your kid to see that, just don't let your kids see that.
Exactly.
You know, it's anyway. I don't know. Maybe the people like this kind of stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're off on a tangent here.
I never get to talk about this stuff. You know,
I could complain about this shit for 3 days straight. You know what I mean? Why is my mouse not working?
What else we got? There's that 70s show coming out, I think, called That 90s Show.
Yep, I can't wait for that shit. And Nick, I agree with you, man. 70s Show is the best sitcom of all time. I said it. I stand by the statement.
Hyde's not going to be in it now.
No. Yeah, that's a whole nother fucking can of worms too, man.
Yeah, I think he actually like went to court and was like found guilty and shit.
I think the case is ongoing, but I would like to think he's not guilty, but he could be guilty. You know, we don't know yet. But
look, man, if he's found, it's like if he goes to court and they get him for it, you know what, dude? Sorry, you're done.
Yep,
you're guilty, brother. That's why we have that shit. Anyway, so Brandon, actually, I want to bring this up. Have you broken your silence on Halloween Ends on the internet yet? Because I can't recall a video that you've done yet, or have you?
I haven't done one yet. I've been trying to let the dust settle.
Do you want to hold off then and not talk about it? Because
we can talk about it. This would be a good time to talk about it, actually.
I just think it's just go for it. Let the people know how you feel, because I'm ready to break it down.
This will be a ramble because I don't have my thoughts collected on it, but
I'll interject here and there.
I'll start with the technical stuff. The cinematography is obviously good. It's great. The soundtrack, original score by Carpenter and his son and his friend is fantastic as always.
Yeah.
The editing of the film, like the actual, cutting of the film, seemed really sloppy and jerky to me. And as an editor, I noticed a lot of it seemed like a really rushed edit, just from a technical observation. Watching the movie first, I was like, there's a lot of really weird jump cuts, and it just, I don't know, either they were rushing to get it done, or they were just not paying attention, or it was a stylistic choice, but it really took me out 2 or 3 times. I can't name them off the top of my head. I've only watched it 2 or 3 times now, but
okay,
there's 2 or 3 really big cuts in that film. I'm like, what the fuck was that? My biggest problem is not the Corey stuff. I don't think anybody's not a real Halloween fan if they like the movie. I'm not one of those people. I don't think people are stupid for liking the film. My problem is the story. A million people have said this. The story works better as a 4th or 5th chapter in the franchise after Michael Myers is dead, if they really wanted to continue on with the same narrative, but give it new blood in the same way New Beginning tried to with Friday the 13th. I think Halloween Kills built up this huge conclusion to this arc with Michael Myers. He just beat this group of people. He's all powerful now. He transcends with every kill. All that bullshit. He was this like Super Saiyan Myers at the end of that movie.
Right.
and Laurie Strode was going to go after him. And there's this big, like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like more people should have a problem with this. They were leading into this huge final battle conclusion. And then suddenly we're time jumping 4 years, excuse me. Laurie Strode is settling down after her daughter's just been murdered a couple of years prior. It's so out of character. That version of Laurie Strode would not be settling down 4 years later and being Martha fucking Stewart. She would not be doing that. I'm rambling because I don't have my thoughts collected, but I don't like the whole evil is corrupting the town shit. We've seen that before. It's tried. It's boring. It doesn't work. You need way more than one film to flesh it out. Otherwise, it just seems pretentious and artsy for the sake of being artsy, which it is, in my opinion. Again, if you like it, that's fine. It's subjective. I don't know why the fuck they did that. There was a narrative. There was a direction they should have taken the story. And I get the whole argument of it's not your movie. You can't write it. You know, it's never going to be what you want. But I feel like objectively, not even subjectively, objectively, if you're going from Halloween Kills to this third and final entry, there's a place you go. And it's not a 4-year time jump with a random new character becoming a new serial killer. Michael Myers hardly in the movie. Weak. It's just, there's so many ill choices. And different does not equate to better. And I see so many people saying it's different. I love it. That's fine. But different does not equate to better. There was a narrative place to take the story. There was no reason for Corey to be in this movie. There's no reason to even have a 4-year time jump. There's no reason to, I don't know. And shut me up if I'm talking too long, man. But it's a big fucking mess. It's a big mess. Again, make this the 4th movie. Make her kill Michael Myers. If it's a big success, they want to make a 4th one. How do we do that without Myers? Have Corey find the fucking mask in the sewer or something 4 years later. Let Michael Myers already be dead. And like he gets infected with the evil from the mask. That would be no less stupid than him having like a romance scene with Michael Myers and looking into each other's eyes and all that bullshit. Like people wanted to complain about The Curse giving too much away about, just giving too much away about who he is and why he does what he does. But then they do this movie where they're basically blatantly saying his evil can be, I don't know, whatever. I could ramble about this for 4 hours.
No, you're doing good. The people are enjoying this. Let me start with my first complaint about Halloween Ends, and you tell me how you feel about this, because it's interesting based on what you said. I don't know where you would go with this. I feel, in my opinion, the biggest mistake with the film, and I'm a different cat, and you know that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Corey to go into the cave. If Michael's a decrepit old man, I wanted Corey to go back into that cave, kill him, and take his mask, and then become the new evil, if that's where we were. That's what I wanted. But I actually feel like the only reason that didn't happen was like a reel back, and we got to have Michael and Laurie fight somehow, or make it seem like it's really not the key of what this whole thing is about. It really was how evil is this thing, blah, 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 which that's my thing. If I could change history, he goes into the cave and he kills that old man. He kills him. And when I say old man, I'm referring to Michael. He kills him. Would that have done anything different for you, or no? Still, we're not at a good launching place for this movie to begin with, in your opinion?
I don't like the insertion. I don't like any of the choices, any of them story-wise. You know what I mean? I don't like any of the choices on point here. Again, if it was a 4th or 5th chapter after Michael's story was correctly concluded, it would be fine. I would probably love the movie. But I'm so pissed off about the movie we didn't get, and so pissed off at the movie we did get, because like it's not even about and again, you can love the movie. People can love the movie. I'm not going to hate you or think you're a stupid non-fan. I think that's
no. Don't worry, Brandon. People get it, that you're expressing your opinion. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's just
don't worry.
If I'll see you guys for a couple more minutes.
Bastard.
If I could have made Halloween Ends, what I would have done is pick up directly after Kills. He's just killed Karen in the bedroom. He's super powered, right? He just killed the whole group of people. He's transcended. I would have had him walk down the fucking stairs in slow motion, go out into the fucking front yard, just like it's sort of like a paralleling that arrest scene from Kills, right, where it's in slow motion. But it's sort of like the firefighter scene. He's just murking all the cops. Like they're firing bullets at him. He's just not going down. He's not even like whimpering at this point.
Right.
He's so powered up, whatever you want to call it, Super Saiyan Myers. He's just fucking killing all these cops. And I would have him kill Allison's dumbass right in that opening scene. And as she lays dying in the street, he walks down into the shadows. And that's when we cut to the opening credits. He's going to the hospital now because he knows Laurie's there. And now he's pissed off. And that's when, I think it would have made for a better finale because it would have kept the urgency there. And the fact that Michael Myers is now this big, transited, hyped up killer, Laurie's gravely injured, Hawkins is gravely injured, everybody's fucked up and hurt. But Michael Myers is now almost unbeatable. And give us a 90-minute movie about that story. Make it take place across a 2-hour period of time in real time. And I don't know, maybe have the finale be at the radio tower. Something more urgent than a 4-year time jump and a big lull of inaction. I did not like the old decrepit weak Myers. It didn't fit. Like it made kills feel irrelevant. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You know what? It's so bizarre how I can genuinely say I enjoy watching the movie. But when I look at and I ended up doing a video about this, I really didn't plan on it, but I was really started thinking about these movies as a package, a 3-piece package, 2018 Kills and Ends. I'm baffled. And we talked about this. I did this video based on the stream I did with you and Garrett on his channel. I'm truly baffled that the storytelling of these 3 films is so bizarre. How it almost feels like like amnesia. Screw everything we just did. Let's do something else. Like all of them feel like different, almost like they're like different cultures. It's like one is like, it's so bizarre how different they are. And I don't think anybody probably really agrees that this was all planned the way this
what it reminds me of, and I'm gonna get a lot of flack in the comments for this, I'm sure. It feels as disjointed to me as the sequel trilogy for Star Wars, because those movies do not feel like part of the same trilogy. Those movies are all over the place, and I feel like Halloween Ends, Rise of Skywalkered, my Halloween trilogy. That's what I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I stay out of the Star Wars world, and I'm not really a big Star Wars fan. I watch the movies. I'm very, very, very casual. But from what I remember, I saw the first one in the theater. Did not care to see let me just give you the outside perspective. Again, I live completely outside of the Star Wars world. I went and saw the one from 2015. What was that one called? Star
Force
Wars
Awakens.
I saw that in the theater. I was like, okay, that's fun. I did not go see the next one. I never saw anybody say they really, really liked it. There was obviously some. I think Nick actually says he likes it, which is cool.
Right here. Last Jedi rules.
I watched it. I wasn't a fan of it. To me, it was really and granted, if George Lucas and if those movies are just made for kids nowadays, and that's why Luke Skywalker's dusting off his shoulder and he's like a hologram in the movie and that's supposed to be cool. It just didn't work for me. And then I saw the one after that and I still didn't like it. I'm just like, dude, I'm over it. I don't really care about this. This isn't for me.
Yeah.
I'm not digging this. I watched a couple of the in-between ones. What are they called? Rogue Squadron and
Rogue One and stuff. Yeah.
I'm not into it. I can't do it. I like sci-fi stuff, but I don't
No,
know.
I get you. I think I think the problem with it is it's all become noise, just like the Marvel superhero movies. It's all noise at this point.
Yeah.
It's static. I can't even get into them anymore. But yeah, back to Halloween Ends real quick. I've watched it 2 or 3 times now over the last month. And I was really hoping it would grow on me.
You're
it hasn't
souring
grown.
on it.
Yeah, it's getting worse for me, man. Like Kills I watched this year. I'm like, I like it more than I did last year. The movie's getting better for me.
It's
Kills, but
Myers,
Ends is just
part of it too. I saw somebody say this on Twitter and it's so obvious, but I never thought about it until somebody posted this. It was a fake quote, but somebody said like David Gordon DGG with a parentheses, be ready, this Halloween's different, blah blah blah. And then under it was like Universal Pictures marketing. Are you ready for Michael versus Laurie in the epic battleship? And like, I get it. Like, we were sold a bill of goods.
Yeah.
And then the trailer, looking back, I don't think the trailer was really doing anything to make us really believe that the movie was going to go as far as it did.
Yeah,
I
the
had my
marketing was a fucking
suspicions.
sham.
Everything was copycat killer, which it's just weird. I enjoy the film. I do. I like watching it, but when you look at them as a package, it's truly mind-boggling. I mean,
It is.
to me, it's literally almost backwards. Now, look, it's so multifaceted with the way Laurie is in this film, how you can look at it in a negative way. It's not like you can just look at it one way. It's like, not only can we already have our preconceived notions of how this person would be post the situation, after so long, you think slowly and surely she would begin to morph back into a normal life the way she seemed like she should have in Halloween Ends while he's in prison, okay, locked up. You think eventually, but no, she goes the opposite way. And I'll never, and the argument that I see, and it's a decent argument, is look what it did. And I think that's what the movie was going for. Look what being crazed about it did. Nothing. Well, guess what? He's fucking missing now.
Mhm.
You don't know where he's at. You're gonna tell me you're going to sleep, and
Right.
no,
That
no.
right there is a scarier concept than what they did. Where the fuck is he? That should have been the theme of the movie.
But here's the thing, when I say multifaceted, it's not just that. We also have another movie that's already done this that we can judge how that was done, which I know H2O is not everybody's cup of tea. It's Scream, whatever people want to call it, fair. But most people say to themselves, well, they got that part right.
Mhm.
Post her dealing with this. Like, yeah,
Yes.
she's an alcoholic, So there's so many layers to this. It's multifaceted how the fans can look at it in a negative way, and from a certain bit of fairness in that criticism too. It's like, look, we already seen this done before, where it was clearly done better by most people. By most people's opinion, I could be wrong, but most people I see say, not really an H2O fan, but no, she was good at like that. Laurie was good at like that was a real person. Like that made sense. And then
Yeah.
you have your own personal vision of how you would deal with it too. And you want to relate to characters. And I just can't. It's just weird, man. I'm sorry. If he's missing, I'm not going to fucking sleep at night. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Then I'm building chicken wire fence 16 feet high around my house with booby traps. I'm going to be like, Kevin McAllister. Like the second he walks through the door, a bowling ball is going to hit him in the nuts. Then, he's going to step on a mousetrap. Like the whole thing just seems completely ass backwards to me. But it's just bizarre but I can still, as an individual film, I dig it. But as a story, it's almost laughable.
Yeah, that's good. I said I wish I could enjoy it because I'm jealous of people who can't enjoy it. I hate that I can't. It's just you're right. Especially, I mean, he not only is he missing, he's missing after he just killed Karen and like 14 people from the town. So it's like, why is this not a bigger issue? Why is the whole town not whatever?
I almost wish we could hit the reset button on this.
I do too.
But
I'm glad the Blumhouse trilogy's over. Somebody else in the chat said that too, and that's my sentiment too. Like, as for better or for worse,
we survived.
I'm glad we're through another era. Like, it's cool that we put a stamp on another era. The series is going to live on. You know what I mean? It'll live on again in some way. I'm looking forward to the next phase, and I hope it's not another 10 years before it starts.
Well, how about this new Crystal Lake show? You got to be racking your brain at how this is going to turn out.
I'm really worried about that. I guess apprehensive is a better word. I'm not worried. I'm apprehensive of it because I'm not interested in a prequel to that. Are you? Like, I don't care about Pamela Voorhees and the before. Like, I don't care about that stuff.
Not necessarily, and I'll be dead ass with you. I'm just, and maybe this is being optimistic. Maybe it's just I woke up on the right side of the bed today. If you would have asked me No, I'm totally lying. Because if you would have asked me about Norman Bates as a kid, I'd have been like, "Oh God, I really want to see what would have wanted to see what that was like." It would have not been what that TV show was. You know, in my mind, it would have been way more volatile and fucked up.
Yeah.
And that show really didn't. It was actually just a good drama. The interesting thing about the whole Crystal Lake TV show is the loophole of television. Nobody talked about this. Nobody had any inkling that television was going to be the loophole to use everything
Yeah.
and not film, but
Right.
television. So, I mean, and apparently this is a joint venture with Horror Inc. So how involved is Sean going to be? To at least to some extent, I think. But it's amazing that not only like this is everything, Crystal Lake,
Mm.
Jason Voorhees, Hockey Mask and all.
Yeah.
They're gonna what I think could be cool and would make the fans happy is if we could do small flash forward scenes with the stuff in the past. Like we can have Jason as an adult, Hockey Mask in the camp, literally killing people, staying at the camp in small pieces in episodes while we're seeing Pamela in the 60s or 50s or whatever it was with baby Jason or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure they're going to. They're going to explore all kinds of stuff that I think they can. I'm not a TV fan. I don't have the goddamn time to watch all this shit.
Yeah.
I've been
Is
very
it
open about that. An hour and 10 minutes. That's why I still can't give Terrifier 2 a perfect score. I think it's awesome. I love it. It's so goddamn long. I have to plan to watch it.
mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
not really big into the TV thing. If they just release one episode at a time, though, I'll deal because then it's one episode. Okay. So I don't know. I'm
Um,
glad that we got something Jason related. And quite frankly, I'm a big Pamela fan, and I've gotten to be a bigger Pamela fan. The first movie is my second favorite. I really love the first movie. But
yeah.
then again, I really love Betsy Palmer as Pamela.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is going to play Pamela
That's the
now?
problem is, are they gonna try to like my question, I have several questions, but like, where does this continuity live? Is it gonna be I'm sure it's gonna disregard the Paramount films explicitly. Like, I feel like it's gonna be a rebooted prequel. It's not gonna lead into any of the established movies. I don't think. I could be wrong. I just don't see them leading into those movies. And like, are they gonna try to replicate certain aspects of the original movies? Like, are they gonna try to get a Betsy Palmer look-alike? Are they gonna try to film at the same camp? Like, are they gonna I don't know. Are they just gonna retell the events of the films? Where is it
Well,
gonna start? Like, how
that's
far of a prequel is it? Like, that's what I
that's
wanna know.
that's the interesting thing. I think they're going to certainly ignore the movies because logistically and legally, those movies are under Paramount.
Yeah.
And now this is a new, even though, but here's the interesting thing. Well, those scripts and all that are under Paramount, but the first movie's scripts and everything inside that script is now owned by Victor after that lawsuit for screenwriters, which expect to see that a lot more in the future from all of our favorite movies from the 80s
Mhm.
and the original owner writers getting their stuff back. You realize how many people have had their hands on Jason now? New Line, Paramount, now Peacock, Universal, right? Because Universal owns Peacock, and A24 dude. This is like Jason is a whore. He's got so
Yes.
many people have he is in so many companies now. A24, and then we got to talk about that. A24 is doing this. Like what the
Yeah. Do they own the rights or are they just licensing it out from somebody?
Licensing, I'm sure. I mean, because we're using we're using intellectual property from Victor's script, which he owns now. He owns it.
Yes.
But the interesting thing is he owns it in America. And guess what streaming site is US only right now? Peacock.
Right.
It's a perfect storm. It is an absolute perfect storm how this all worked out. It's amazing. It's perfect and amazing, and just like I can't believe they actually figured out to do this, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm worried about it. I'm with Alexis too. She said a couple comments back as I do wish it had been just saved for the screen because I want movies. I don't want TV shows.
I want movies too. I'm totally with you. Totally with
And
you.
Brian Fuller, yeah, that's cool that he has 2 seasons worth of story ready to go. Like, that's good that they're planning at least. so far, at least what it looks like they're planning pretty well. But like, I don't want a fucking TV show. I could wait another couple of years for a full-fledged movie. You know what I mean? I'd rather wait
And
for a
and
full movie.
and the thing that sucks too is if Paramount was putting the show out on Paramount Plus, and this is a minor thing to complain about, but as people have noticed, Paramount puts everything out on physical media.
Mhm.
Everything. Orphan
Yep.
First Kill, oh, it's going straight to streaming. Mostly, some places got it in theaters. Oh, maybe I'm not gonna be able to buy it. No, we're putting out the Blu-ray. Boom, bought it. Smile, coming out on physical media. If Paramount does it, they put it out on physical media. These other
Mhm.
companies, not really.
Yeah, no.
Especially Netflix, it's I don't know what Zombie did. He obviously has some pull, but Zombie got the monsters on physical media.
Right.
I think he's a big fan of physical media still, so I wouldn't doubt that he had a hand in that. But this Peacock thing, there's a big chance this could not hit physical media, which
Yeah.
is gonna piss off the fans, whether they like it or not. You know how Friday the 13th fans are. We're both one of them. We like to own. If it's anything related to it, we want to own it. So
Yeah. I do hope one way or the other, I hope it's successful and I hope enough fans like it, because if it does really bad, I feel like Friday the 13th is going to disappear for a long time. But if it does really well, it's going to light a fire under their asses as far as theatrical goes. And I feel like they're going to work the rights out one way or the other. If they're like, we have a really successful TV show here, we need to capitalize on this now.
yeah,
I don't think it would be a sequel to the TV show. It'd probably be a straight reboot for the big screen, but that's fine as long as the interest stays active. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hesitant on it.
Well, I don't think we should. It would probably be a while before we see anything. Maybe we'll get a teaser like at the end of next year for something. Maybe not. Maybe the ball's already rolling. I know they're in pre-production, but
I just hope it feels gritty and not too polished. You know what I mean? That's what I want it to be gritty and
well,
not too polished.
that's where the A24 could come in a positive
Yes.
way because
Yep.
they, especially if you look at the Ty West stuff, that's clearly the vision of a one man who had, that to me, that's one of the most important things too, is if somebody's writing the show and Brian Fuller's writing it and Brian Fuller's very talented, let him just write the goddamn show and film what he writes and be in the vision of somebody and not a boardroom. Again, pen, paper, pencil, calculator, test this. Do the kids like this superhero? Do his tights need to be higher up on his waist? Is it not the right shade of green? Blah, 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 like all that crap. If we can
Yeah.
get away from that, at least if we get something original, I don't know. But I'm not a fan of the TV thing, really.
But I think would be cool story wise, and then I'll shut up about the Friday the 13th show, is if they were to start it when Jason Voorhees allegedly drowns, right? And Pamela freaks out. That initial freak out. And then intercut between those two stories where she thinks her son's dead. They can't find the body. She's freaking out. Maybe she gets sent to the mental ward. This is before her first rampage or whatever. And then we cut to Jason, who actually survived, learning to live in the woods as a kid because he can't find his way home because he's not all there in the head. Like, cut between that shit and like have season 1 end after her rampage concludes with her head being chopped off, and then have him see it happen. Like, end on that shot of him finally finding his mom again. And right as he finds her, that's when she gets her fucking head cut off.
And then who says we can't continue from there where
Right.
the show's about Jason? Because the show's not called Pamela. The show is, in fact, called Crystal
Lake. Right. I mean, that would be so cool. They won't do that, but that would be cool. They're going to make it, it's going to be such a, well, maybe not. A24 is weird. Maybe it won't be too much of a drama.
Who knows what their involvement is? Like, it's weird because they're the production company involved with it. What does that mean? Does that mean a certain personnel are involved in the actual shooting and stuff and like that? And are they picking the directors and like that? Does it mean Ty West might do some episodes? Like, what does that mean exactly? What control do they have? Like, that's something I'm always interested in trying to understand more. And I'm sure we'll find out something in that regard soon.
I hope McLaughlin gets some episodes, man.
I wouldn't doubt it if he directs an episode or so.
That'd be killer,
or at
for
least
sure.
give these guys cameos. Like, if they're alive, give them a cameo in the show. Like, give some of the broads from like Jason Lives and Laura Park, give them cameos in the show. Let them be involved. They help be a part of making it what it is, and It was described as a drama, which that makes sense, honestly, Jaden. It's like it's got to deal with stuff like that because of the foundation of what the series is. Like I get that. Like I what is Pamela just going to hide in the shadows every episode and she's no, we can't do that. But again, I'm still not thrilled about it. I would love a Pamela movie, another Pamela movie, or just another movie. To me, it's like Sean Cunningham said it best if you watch the Jason X making of interview on the Scream Factory Blu-ray set, which the interview is on YouTube. He basically has said, he goes, I've tried different things and I realized what the fans want. They want Jason in a hockey mask in the woods and kids camping. Like I know that's what they want, and I want to give it to them. So, let's just hope that this leads to a movie, or like that we can get a movie. Like,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
If I had my cake and ate it too, though, somehow Paramount would just own all this shit outright again. Just
Oh, yeah.
Paramount, and let them go back. Let's go back to where it started.
Bring back Mancuso Jr. as the producer, because he seemed really like it. I don't know how bullshit it is, but in that Friday the 13th Crystal Lake Memories, he seemed really sincere, like really into the series for a long time.
I mean,
Before he divorced himself, you know what I mean? Like he was the Mustafa Akkad, I feel like, for a while. As far as
Mancuso Jr. after Manhattan happened and he separated from it.
Yep.
That was the opening that Sean Cunningham. I read about that in Slash of the Titans, that book, which I got to do Freddy vs. Jason Part 4. I got to get that done. But yeah, Mancuso leaving really was the catalyst for Sean to swoop right in.
Yeah.
Because he basically was the Mike DeLuca for New Line in terms of those franchises. Mike DeLuca was the reason when Mike DeLuca got fired from New Line. That's why Freddy vs. Jason sat on the shelf for a few years, because there was nobody when the new board of directors came in and stuff, and New Line got shook up. None of them even knew that Freddy vs. Jason was made, and it was a negative pickup, all that kind of weird mumbo jumbo crap. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see, man. It's going to be interesting. It's exciting, I guess, but it's also just like television. I got to set the time to watch this shit now. But in terms of Freddy, I mean, do you need any more? Or are you cool with what you got? Like some days, like today, dude, I have an amazing 9-film franchise. We're 8 films with a remake, or what is it? 7 films up to New Nightmare. Freddy's
6 films canon, 7 films if you include New Nightmare, which is not really canon, but 8 films if you include the remake, and 9 films, I guess, if you include Freddy vs. Jason.
Point being, we got a bunch of great stuff.
Yeah.
If we don't ever get another one, you know what, dude? I will be 60 years old, hopefully still alive one day, and I will pop in Dream Warriors, or I'll pop in Freddy's Revenge, and I'll still be like, "Fuck yeah, this is the best."
Yeah,
Like,
I think Nightmare would be the biggest shame to not have more made. Whether they go back to a legacy sequel to Robert or make a whole new reboot again with a whole new franchise. That movie, that series lends itself to creativity, and I feel like we haven't broken through even the tip of the iceberg of what you could do visually. There's so much potential to be tapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you know, did I ever tell you my idea for a possible Nightmare on Elm Street reboot or a remake idea that involves it's a Robert Englund movie? So this would change the lore of the story, though. And it would be a 2-part movie. Freddy, young Freddy, you learned this is exposition in the beginning of the film. Now I don't know if people would like this because it would really screw with the story of the original film, but Freddy gets caught in the 60s like he does originally. I guess it's around the 60s, 50s, 60s. They signed the search warrant. He goes to prison. He does his time. The movie shows Robert Englund in his 70s like he is now, and he gets paroled. And he goes right back to doing what he did. And he's killing kids. He's, luring them away, blah, blah, blah. So now it's this old Freddy that's Robert doing this. And people Some people, he got transferred from prison to prison. They don't know where he's at. He paroles. He leaves his wherever he leaves, whatever, blah, blah. But the parents of the kids now that are getting killed, they kill him again. And then the next movie would be, so the whole movie would be an old Robert Englund as a human, just an old human doing what he did originally. And I had a different idea that was similar, but then the end of the movie would they kill Robert as an old man, and then the end of the movie would be one of the kids having a nightmare and then it'd be Freddy as we know. But that would be my idea, something like that, to actually have Robert Englund come back and be himself as Freddy, as an
I
old
like that.
man.
And that would be doable too, because he wouldn't have to do too many stunts or anything. He could do all that acting.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed it in Stranger Things, that small part he had in that. He could totally do old Freddy. And like when he donned the makeup in the film or the second part, he could do all the close-ups and the dialogue and just have a stunt guy from far away fill in. It would be totally doable. And they needed to pull that fucking trigger now. They can't wait another 5-6 years when he will be too old to do it all.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him at Scarefest literally, and he's 75.
Is he that old now? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
but here's the thing. It's like, I'm not just saying this to like bullshit myself. It just seems like people are keeping up with their health nowadays. And
That's
like
true.
Robert, like this was Robert. He was like, I saw him. I saw, I was like 30 feet from him watching him talk to this girl. And he was like doing all this. Like he was like he's very able. He's very capable still. I'm not
He's not
saying
like an old man.
he's
Yeah.
not like an old man. He doesn't talk like one. He still has a very good cadence to himself.
Yeah.
His mannerisms are still youthful. He doesn't rock or anything. Like he's like just an old man. Like, I'm not saying he's Sylvester Stallone still. He's not in the gym every day like he is,
Yeah.
but he's still a very capable human being. He's not some decrepit nothing. So, there's still something in there. I mean, the Goldbergs, that show, whoever put that on, they must have paid him a shit ton to get him just to do that.
I hated his makeup on that fucking show.
I know
It
you
did
did.
not look good.
I know you did, but you know what though? The magic, you could tell the magic is still there for him. Like, it was special. Like, it's like, oh, that's him. That's
he needs
Freddy.
to hit the gym for like a couple months and then get back into the fucking suit for sure.
I would like an out of shape Freddy. Like I would like just a little bit of a.
He's just first seen is him on the couch. Hey fellas, dude. Damn, I lost my train of thought. What the fuck was I going to say? Oh, with Camp, because she's been preaching about doing a legacy sequel now too. Like after the success of Halloween, didn't she say something about wanting to do a new Freddy movie?
I think she's been saying that for a while.
I don't know if she's a big enough draw she can't pull the kind of weight that Jamie Lee Curtis can with studios, but like, I don't know if a studio would fund that. You know what I mean?
You know what? As cliche as it would be, if like you just took a bunch of like that Stranger Things type kids and made the new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, like the Summer of '84 style, that kind of, that'd probably be a way to go. But I would want it to be mean. I'd want it to be a really dark film and make the first film, Robert as a human who gets out of jail and he's back to his old tricks, but he's wanted revenge, or maybe not even make it about going after the kids, but he's going after the parents and the kids. I don't know. There's stuff you could do.
There's so many options you could do, and you could play with the audience too. Like, is he innocent? Is he not? He's not, but like you could play with that trope.
Yeah.
Would you show once he did get killed again or whatever? Would you show him become Dream Demon Freddy? Like, would you show the Dream Demons from New Nightmare, or not New Nightmare? I'm sorry, Freddy's Dead, and show that pact he makes with them and stuff, and how he becomes the Dream Demon Freddy
in a different light. But yeah,
because that was the one thing I did like about Freddy's Dead is the way those fucking things looked. I'm like, that's a really cool sequence when they're pitching him the idea of you can do this forever and all that shit. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Under a better light, absolutely. Under a more serious tone, absolutely. We talk about, they could have a stunt double for Freddy, blah, blah, blah. What did he do in those movies that he couldn't do today? Like, honestly, in Freddy's Revenge, the scariest thing he does is stand up into frame when he's about to kill Grady. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or make that face. Like,
that's true.
Really, what would he need a stunt double for?
That's true. Yeah.
Especially if they portray it like Vecna, who those guys did. Like, they are able to shoot and make stuff look make him look that character look so domineering. And when you have a veteran actor like Robert, dude, it's like, oh my god. It's actually it really is a shame just from a technical standpoint with how well you got people like those brothers. I forgot the name of them. Like, if they did that, or I know Flanagan wants to do a Nightmare movie. I want fuck it, dude. Just give me Robert. I go back and forth on this all
As the
the
question is, would you want a okay, here's the question. You have two options. They could reboot the whole series and make a whole new franchise, 6, 7 movies, who knows where they could go. Or you could get one legacy sequel to Robert, no guarantee of a second.
Robert.
Which route do you go? You go Robert?
Because why the interesting thing is the Elm Street remake was successful financially.
Mm.
I always say, who gives a fuck what the critics think? Who cares if the reviews are bad? If it made a bunch of money, you thinking that people won't go back for another one? But they never did anything else after that one. Why? Friday the 13th, I totally understand. I don't think people realize how lucky we were to get that movie. We've talked about this before, but truly that was a joint venture with Paramount and Warner Brothers. Look at the poster. You'll see both studios at the bottom. And the way that happened was Warner Brothers started making the production of Friday the 13th. It's crazy. And then all of a sudden Paramount sent them legal papers like, no. You can't make this movie and call it Friday the 13th. You can't do that. We own that intellectual property. You can't do that. And
Yeah.
so they made a deal. I think Warner Brothers got all the they got American distribution, but Paramount got foreign distribution in terms of box. It's a really, I read about it, but it was a really insane deal that happened with those two studios to make the remake happen. But what were we talking about now? Now I'm completely. But anyway, no. My point is, I understand why. That's why there wasn't a sequel to Friday the 13th, the remake. But Nightmare made money. Why did that not? They never did another one. Like, no. So it's like, give me one more with Robert. Just give me one more.
Yeah, we need the closure as fans, man.
Yeah. I mean, I got closure. Freddy's dead. No. You know what, man? If Freddy versus Jason was the last time we saw Robert, though, I mean, I don't care what people think about that movie. I have problems with that movie, but the more I learn about the scripts that we got and how shitty a lot of them were, the more I really am appreciating Freddy vs. Jason the movie. You
Yes.
gotta say that Robert is fun. If the last thing we see is Freddy Krueger headless being drug out of the lake and he winks at us, that's a hell of a way to go out.
Yep.
Like, honestly, I can go to sleep at night being like, you know what though? Like, he's still out there. Like, our Freddy's still out. Like, I can deal with that because I love the fact that he does look at the camera and winks at us.
Yeah.
You know,
It's great. It's been 19 years since Freddy versus Jason, and I still, almost 20 years later, cannot fucking believe we actually got Freddy versus Jason. It feels like a fever dream because the decade leading up to that, as a kid, I remember, reading about it, looking forward to it, reading about it in Fangoria magazines and shit. The fact that we actually got Freddy versus Jason, it's a real film we can watch whenever the fuck we want to, is insane to me still, that we actually got Freddy versus Jason. It sucks that Kane Hodder wasn't involved. That's a mistake that will forever stain that movie. But we fucking got Freddy versus Jason with Robert Englund returning to the role, which even at the time, that was 2003. So he was already 9 years removed from New Nightmare. The fact that we got him back even for that movie is still pretty incredible to me.
it
You know what I mean?
is. And it's such a journey. I'm telling you, man, that book I'm reading is so good. All the scripts before that were insanely stupid. A lot of them made, like, there was one script where Jason was a real serial killer, but the Nightmare on Elm Street movies were movies.
Right.
And then there was, like, dude, I can't. That's like, I like I said, if I did videos on some of these already, but it's insane the journey to get to where we're at. And these scripts are so bad. I literally I'm going back and thinking about the film we got and being like, you know what? There are things I would change, but we are blessed. I
We
don't
are.
think people if you start to really read these scripts about what almost was happening, we are absolutely blessed because
Yeah.
everything was going to be the millennium is why Freddy and Jason are fighting, and like that's why, and they weren't really going to be part of the film. One was going to be a real serial killer, where the other one was going to be a movie, and time
Yeah.
vortexes and parallel universes were mixing. It was really stupid. Some of it was just so stupid that
Yeah.
the fact that the film we got truly is a blessing, and for the most part, it's really fun. I'm convinced that the reason Kane Hodder's not in the movie is because of Kane Hodder. And I talked to Piz about this when we did the New Line Part 2, the Jason movies from New Line. Think about how Kane Hodder is with the character, not physically, but on set. You remember if you watch his name was Jason documentary,
Mhm.
Jim Isaac would say like Kane Hodder would come up to him about something about this or that, and Rob Heaton the same. Like, and Kane would be like, no, Jason wouldn't do that. Jason, we need to change this. You imagine a big production like Freddy versus Jason, most expensive film of all of them made, probably.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big wig directors, big wig execs, everybody's involved with this movie. Do you think they wanted to deal with a guy that was going to give guff to the
No,
script and
they
things
wanted a
like that?
yes man. They wanted a yes man for sure. Like
In
just
my
do your job. They wanted a, do your job kind of guy,
So
which
in
I can
my
understand.
opinion,
But
in my opinion, that is why Kane Hodder was not in Freddy versus Jason. That is exactly why, because they did not want to have to deal with the second of somebody saying, no, we need to fix it. You know damn well if Kane Hodder was on set, and I would love to ask him that. Be like, if you were on set, would you have fought back against being afraid of water in the movie?
I would say fuck yeah, 100%. Wouldn't you? I feel like he'd absolutely say,
There's your
yeah, I would have
that
fought against it.
that is why he's not in the movie.
Yeah,
That's why, in my opinion.
that's probably correct. You know what I mean? It's probably correct.
I mean,
Which
Holiday
sucks. It
Styles.
still sucks, but fuck.
I would agree with that, Holiday Styles. I don't even want to compare Freddy versus Jason to anything. It's like it really is. I'm warming up to it more and more every time. With every script I read from before, the more I realize we are fucking lucky, so lucky. But I don't know, Brandon. We've gone for almost 2 hours now. My internet has been flawless. I really think
It has.
I think it was Google. I swear to God.
Dude,
Swear
there's
to
been
God.
no issues at all. Yeah.
Wow. This is awesome.
No pixelation, no pausing, nothing.
I know I almost streamed as good as you tonight. But yeah,
It's
I'm Ethernet. I knew something was wrong and I couldn't figure it out. So hopefully Firefox is the way to go.
mhm.
I'm just not going to use Google Chrome at all
At
for
least for a
streaming.
while. Yeah.
I'll stick with this. This was awesome. I actually thought this was a really good show tonight. We covered a lot of great stuff. I really like the chill shows with no topics.
Yeah,
So,
it was a blast, man. Fucking Star Wars, Jaws, Halloween, Friday the 13th. Yeah, I think we killed it tonight.
is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap? Or
I had a couple things, but they've kind of left my mind now. I'll ask him down the road. I forgot what the fuck it was even about, but yeah.
well, I guess that's it. Do you have Netflix, just out of curiosity?
I do. Yeah,
Have you heard of a show called Mindhunter?
I have. Yeah, I watched part of season 1 and part of season 2.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle. I'm probably almost done with season 2, which I'm really pissed off because that show, I'm in love with it. You know, they go in. It's a show about the FBI guys, and they're going to
Right.
talking. I just saw the episode where they go to see Charles Manson. The casting of the show is so insane. It's unbelievable how they got these people to look like the BTK killer. They
Yeah.
got a Dennis Rader lookalike.
Insane.
Yeah.
I love the fact that one of the FBI agents is just Sam Whitemoon from Creepshow 2. It's fucking hilarious to me.
Yes. Yes.
You know the dude, you probably know this, but the guy who played Charles Manson in Mindhunter was the same guy who played him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I didn't know that.
Same actor.
I didn't know Danielle Harris was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood until she
that's
talked about it.
that's trippy too. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm finishing that show. I got to finish season 2 and then be pissed off that we never got a third season because it got
Never.
I think COVID canceled it, and then Netflix was just like, yeah. But it's so good. I mean, it's so good, and that's why people are fucking pissed off at Netflix and why they're losing subscribers because they're getting rid of all the fucking good shows.
Yeah.
And
All
then,
they have is Stranger Things, man, and that's few and far in between.
And that's
So,
over and done with. And, you know,
yeah.
there was a show I liked called Dead to Me with Christina Applegate, and they did 2 seasons, and I thought it was pretty good. And then the 3rd season just came out years later, and I watched the first episode the other day, and I'm just like, you know what? I just don't care anymore. They waited too long. I'm
Yeah.
completely uninvested with this shit. I'm done. Goodbye. Whatever. I'm finished.
Mm,
So other than that, after Mindhunter, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do on Netflix. Probably nothing for a while. You know.
yeah. And you said you stopped watching The Watcher, right? Wasn't really your cup of tea.
Eh, you know what? I don't know if it's my cup of tea or not. I stopped watching it because I'm just like I'm in the middle of Mindhunter and I was just really liking that. So I was just like, let me stick with Mindhunter and I'll go back. Maybe once I get back on The Watcher, I'll be like, oh shit. It's not that I wasn't liking it. I can't get a grasp on it.
Mhm.
I don't know what the fuck it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be funny? Is it supposed to be scary? Is it supposed to be all of the above? You
Yeah,
know,
I'm hoping season 2 fleshes it out a bit more. 'Cause I'm pretty sure they just greenlit season 2. But yeah,
what
I need
odds are it'll be 2 seasons and it'll be done.
right, true. Yeah, exactly. I really need to watch Bly Manor. I fucking loved season 1. I remember you guys were talking about it the other night, but I really need to watch Bly Manor. I haven't seen a single episode of the 2nd season. So,
It's good. I like it better than what's the other one called? Hill
Hill
House.
House. Yeah.
Hill House was fine. But Bly Manor, I love the fact that it takes place in the 80s, and I love that chick, the star of the show, with her. She looks great as a blonde too. She's so pretty. Um, I
Is that
forgot.
movie is season 2 have the scary stuff like season 1 did? Like, is there the really creepy dread scenes? Because there were some really
It's
dreadful
just
scenes.
the whole show's uncomfortable with her around those kids because you always feel like shit's about to pop off and something's about to happen to her with those kids, and the whole show for me is just like uncomfortable, like with her at the manor dealing with the kids and everything. I just feel like shit's about to pop off.
Yeah.
That's me. So I don't know if for me, I don't know if scary would be the word I would use to describe it. I guess you could say just really suspenseful and just like I'm at such unease the whole time with it, which to me is a great because it's just like, oh shit, like I kind of gotta lean back, like what the fuck is about to happen?
Yeah,
And I
I
feel
love that
so
unease.
she's such a great character. I feel so like I just want to hug her and be like, no, I'll fucking protect you. Like she's a great character. I forget the actress's name, but she is awesome. She's in that show You.
Yeah,
But this is my favorite role she's done as the caretaker. So,
nice.
and I
Yeah,
love the
I need to
80s
get into
setting.
it.
Yeah, it's way better than Hill House to me. So, but Midnight Mass is the GOAT. That's one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. If you haven't seen that, dude,
I
I'm
haven't.
talking it's probably the most well-written, creepiest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Is it a show or a movie?
What do you call it? Limited,
A
which I
limited
can deal with
series?
that. If it's a limited series, there's 8 episodes. I can somehow that's the loophole for me. I can digest that. You
Yeah.
know, Alexis, I remember Living with Yourself with Paul Rudd, and I finished the first season. Did they ever make any more? I remember at the end of the first season, like where was Paul and his twin clone, just like, okay, I guess we'll all live with our wife or something. I guess what I remember.
Hmm.
I don't
I never
remember.
never seen that either.
That was a trippy show too. It was like this. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. There's this clinic where it's like, come here and we'll like fix you and make you a better person, physically, mentally, blah blah blah. But you didn't know what they were doing to you. But
Ah,
you came out stronger, better, faster, smarter. But what they do to you is the crazy thing. But there was a glitch with him, and it was just, I can't spoil it in case people haven't seen it because then it'll be like, oh shit. But it was interesting, but I completely forgot that show existed until literally just now.
right.
So, which is how Netflix goes. That they sometimes be 3 goddamn years before they have another season. So,
Yeah. Fucking bums.
what's next up before we go? What's next on your watch list, Brandon? You have anything you're getting ready to watch soon, or
Um, well, Planes and Trains Automobiles should be in the mail tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that for Thanksgiving Eve.
Me too. Me
Watching
too.
the new 4K. I've heard nothing but bad things about the transfer, but
Me too.
here's to hoping.
Yeah, my buddy, Kyle told me, hey man, I'm sending you that. Kyle's awesome. He hooks me with a lot of great stuff. But he said, hey man, we've got the planes, trains coming, but unfortunately, it looks like. But the bonus material alone should make up for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I just ripped the other Blu-ray for the review I just did, so I'm gonna try to do a side by side compare it, like really zoom in and really look at those pixels up close and see how big of a difference it is. I know Ken on Mid Level Media, he said it really wasn't a big enough difference to justify the purchase.
Even
But
with the bonus material.
I don't know, I didn't get that far. I don't know if he mentioned that or not, but I think he was talking about just the picture quality. Like he said, you could probably skip it if you wanted to because the picture quality jump wasn't that, like it wasn't a bound and a leap, which sucks because I was really hoping for a bound and a leap. You know what I mean? Because the Blu-ray it's good, but it kind of looks like one of those primitive early Blu-rays where it's not that much better than DVD. So I was really hoping for a really clean, good, sharp scan, and I don't think we're going to get that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But there's a couple things on my shelf now that I've been kind of finding that I bought and I haven't watched it ever. There's a Western called Never Grow Old that I bought like last year and I never watched it with John Cusack, and it looks fucking trippy as hell. I'm looking forward to that shit.
No kidding.
Yeah, but that's about it so far.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to that fucking Black Friday sale for Vinegar Syndrome, man. I'm stoked about that shit.
Did you say vinegar?
I did, Vinegar. I'm gonna spend like $2,000 on Friday, man.
I actually bought a couple movies today. I probably should have waited for Black Friday, but I just like fucking. Two Evil Eyes.
Wow, nice.
4K.
Really?
Yeah.
That's trippy.
Yeah, big fan of that movie. I think Dario's part is better, to be honest with you.
Where'd you get it from? 88 Films, you said?
No, Blue Underground.
Oh, Blue Underground. Okay.
Yeah, Blue Underground and Vigilante. Have you heard of that? It's a action film from the early 80s. William Lustig, who did Maniac, made Vigilante after Maniac. He said it's one of his favorite films he's done. So it's like a lethal weapon. It's like a Death Wish type movie.
Oh, nice.
Are you a fan of those Death Wish movies?
I love them. I love all of them, actually. I haven't seen 3 or 4 in a long time. There's only 4 of them, right? Or is there a 5? There's a 5, isn't there?
1 second. Let me just show you this before we go.
Okay.
So first of all, let me take my camera and show you this. See that over there?
Oh, nice. Death Wish 3. That's awesome.
It's the best poster of the franchise. It really is. Canon made great posters.
Oh, yeah.
Bootleg Freddy's Nightmares.
Wow, look at that.
Got the first Death Wish on Blu-ray. This is actually like the first Death Wish is a legitimate film.
It is.
You know, with a message, something to say, quite frankly.
And Jeff Goldblum, for some reason.
Yeah. This is region-free, in case you don't have a region-free player, and I recommend this. The Umbrella Death Wish 2 and 3 release.
Wow, look at that shit. Nice.
Then, because Pizzal reviewed this, I believe this is Code Red. Scorpion releasing. The Scorpion releasing 2K scan Blu-ray of Death Wish 3 with original poster art.
Look at that shit.
How cool is that?
That's awesome.
You gotta love Charlie. And then the Death Wish 4 and 5 umbrella release.
Okay, so there is a 5. Yeah, excellent. That's awesome.
I haven't seen 4 and 5 yet, but
4 and 5 were just TV movies, I think, weren't they?
You're probably right, but they both share one disc, whereas 2 and 3 are on the same different discs.
Mm-hmm.
This one is on one disc. But my favorite release out of all of these has to be the 2K scan Blu-ray of Death Wish 3. I mean, that's a great release right here. And they just gave you the slip of the original poster art. Dude, I'm just a sucker for the original poster art. Even if the new art's great, you can't beat the originality. But honestly, Brandon, you could probably get that cheap on Amazon. The Death Wish 2 and 3. Let me make sure. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Okay, no. They actually do share the same disc. I apologize, but there's a DVD. They put them on DVD as well in this release for some reason. But yeah, this is region free. So, dude,
that's hardcore.
Death Wish 2 might be my favorite one out of all of them. But I always tell people, like, brace yourself because that rape scene in the beginning, dude, they go for it. But the thing is, it's like when you see him extract revenge on all those guys, it gets your blood flowing.
Mhm.
You remember he goes in that alley to that one guy who was involved in doing that to his maid, and he's grabbing the cross and he goes, "Oh, do you believe in Jesus?" "Yes." "You're about to meet him." Boom! It just blows his fucking head off. Like, dude, there's something so just like I don't know, masculine about those goddamn movies, dude. They just get your blood pumping. Like, you gotta love Death Wish. You have
Yeah.
to. You have to love Charlie Bronson, you know.
The only thing that bugged me, and correct me if I'm wrong, is in the original film, he never gets actual justice from the dudes that killed his wife and assaulted his daughter.
If memory serves, no, but the ending is amazing where the politician guy is just like, you're gonna get out, you're gonna leave here, and we never saw you.
Yep.
Because, like, he was taking criminals off the street. Like, the first one, it's a damn good movie. Like,
It
it's a
is.
legitimately good movie. And the sequels are like the sequels are Halloween Kills. Like, they're a bunch
Yes.
of Halloween Kills, you
Oh,
know?
yeah. It's
Uh,
fantastic.
oh, Joe Reese says he has the wildly pistol like Bronson using Death Wish 3. That's
killer.
killer. Yeah. Yeah, but I love that poster. I remember I bought the poster for that a while back. I was like, I gotta hang that in the horror room because, quite frankly, Death Wish 3 has the biggest body count out of any poster that's on the walls in the horror room. Like, you take like Nightmare 3, 4, add them together, they still don't come close to Death Wish 3. So
It yeah, man. But yeah, I'm looking forward to those fucking sales. I guess I'll hit up 88 Films too. I'm sure they're gonna do some kind of Black Friday thing.
yeah, I'm sure they will. Also, check Amazon. Like, go to Amazon and type in 88 Films Blu-ray. A lot of times you can get some for Prime, like they're shipping from America.
Ah, you
But
know what I find hilarious about the 88 Films and Vinegar Syndrome? It's fucking hilarious to me. Is every time I love how you can go on those websites and surf for movies, right? You're gonna find all these crazy old horror movies, right? And then you're just gonna find like 4 or 5 pornos mixed in with a bunch, like every.
yeah,
It's
and sometimes they
like,
change
what
the
the
name
fuck
of
am I?
them. Yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
yeah. No, unfortunately, like, so I told you I work Thursday, and then oh, I gotta mention this. I can't believe I never mentioned this. Unita Candles is having our Black Friday sale. We're gonna have everything marked down. Not only that, me and Sydney tomorrow are cooking up a bunch of surprise melts for the Black Friday sale, stuff that we've never done. But I'll give one away right now, and this is gonna be on sale. Like I said, everything is on sale for the Black Friday sale. John Carpenter's The Fog Wax Melt will be available for the Black Friday sale at midnight on Black Friday. So eat your Thanksgiving turkey, take a nap. Midnight Central Time, we're launching the Black Friday sale on the website. So right now, there's nothing on the store, but Black Friday, midnight Central Time, go get your Vinegar Syndromes, then go to Unity Candles and get sick deals on the wax
Yes.
melts. I mean, I can't believe Sydney's pricing them at this point. But one I will give away. There'll be more. One of them might be a Schwarzenegger film, but one of them is the Fog Wax Melt, and it smells great. They've already been made. We just got to get the packaging and stuff. So be ready. Black Friday, Unity Candles, you're going to get a steal for just ridiculous prices at cost, basically. So
Hell
be
yeah.
ready for that. That's going to be great.
Excellent.
But dude, this was fun. Let's wrap it. The chat was great tonight. Thank you guys for all hanging out with us. Y'all were awesome. Now me and Brandon can do this regularly. We'll plan the next one. I think we talked about we want to do a slasher show, right?
Yes.
That'll be
That'd be
fun.
cool.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the thumbnail for that, and you're gonna be like, "Damn, you did a good job." I'm gonna get close. I'm not gonna match your quality, but I'm gonna get pretty close. I'm gonna work my ass off on it.
Sweet. I'm
So
looking
I'm gonna
forward to it.
yeah. So we'll get
Do
that.
it.
We'll get Garrett and everybody back, and I think we'll be good. Like, this is amazing. My internet didn't screw up at all. So now it's just I'm glad I did trial and error. I never if I wouldn't have thought to use a different browser, I just would have been dealing with bullshit internet. Actually, no, it's not the internet. It's fucking Google. I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's what it seems like for sure.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, this as well, this will be on Spotify, guys. Planet CHH Powerhouse Podcast. I add my live shows on there. So if you want to listen to this on the go, you can. But thank you, chat. You guys were awesome. Ben, Joe, Jeff, Rock Music, Jaden, Alexis, Akeem. What's up, Akeem? How you doing, man? Good to see you in here, Akeem. All you guys, everybody in the chat. Orc, Pizzal was hanging out with us for a while. Joe Reese, Dylan, Prodigy. All you guys, thank y'all for hanging out. This was a great show. You guys are awesome. Brandon, thank you for hanging out.
It was
Always
fun, man.
fun.
It was fun.
Always
It was a
fun.
blast. Good way to end Monday night, man.
That's right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Take it easy.